From making the Pro Bowl to shattering rookie records, Puka Nacua has cemented himself as one of the best receivers in the NFL. However, back in 2023, Puka wasn't drafted till the 5th round when the Rams selected him with the 177th overall pick. We're about to find out what happened to the 19 receivers selected before him and why teams were hesitant to draft him. Coming out of college, Puka didn't catch the attention of many scouts. While his on-field production at BYU suggested he had the potential to be a game changer, several factors led to him being one of the most overlooked prospects in his class. For starters, Nacua battled various injuries throughout his college career. Teams questioned whether he would be able to handle the physical demands of the NFL, a league known for its grueling schedule and intense competition. But things got even worse for Puka when the combine and his pro day rolled around. He ran a 4.57 40-yard dash, which was a slower 40 time than 33 of the 40 receivers at the combine. It also meant that players who usually run a slower 40 than wide receivers, like defensive ends, linebackers, running backs, safeties, quarterbacks, and even tight ends, all ran faster 40s than him. Also, NFL Next Gen Stats gave him an athleticism score of 53 from the combine. Any score in the 50s is considered below average, and the lowest possible score one could get is a 50. He had the 3rd worst athleticism score out of the 50 receivers that participated at the combine. Puka was viewed as an average backup or special teamer at best, and he was projected to be drafted in the 6th or 7th round. Scouts labeled him as a wideout that lacked twitch and speed to attack NFL man coverage successfully. But there was one team that saw something in Nacua that no one else did. So after every team passed on selecting him in the draft at least 4 times, Sean McVay and the Los Angeles Rams selected Puka Nacua in the 5th round with the 177th overall pick. And the rest is history. Literally, he made history, and we'll get into all his record-breaking moments in a second, but first, let's see who the receivers are who were drafted ahead of him, and how badly general managers wish they could have a redo on their picks. The first wide receiver taken off the board was the census #1 wideout in the class, Jackson Smith-Njigba. After an impressive career at Ohio State, where he led the nation in receiving yards in 2021, the Seattle Seahawks selected him with the 20th overall pick, something that started a chain reaction of receivers being drafted. JSN had a solid rookie season, recording 628 yards on 63 receptions. However, it was hard for him to make a legitimate impact playing behind DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. He did show some flashes of greatness though, including a crazy one-handed grab against the 49ers in a Week 11 game. But 2024 has been a different story. Through just 10 weeks, JSN has 678 yards, already passing his total from his rookie year. He had an incredible Week 9 game against the Rams where he went off for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. Smith-Njigba has shown some flashes, but he really hasn't gotten the opportunity to be the true #1 go-to guy yet. He was drafted for the long-term reason of replacing the aging Tyler Lockett, and I expect him to get better and better with more opportunities. With just the pick after Jackson Smith-Njigba, the Los Angeles Chargers selected Quentin Johnston. His rookie season was not good. It was not good at all. If you look at the stats, they look pretty decent, but stats don't tell the full story. Johnston had butterfingers. He couldn't catch anything. He's lucky Kadarius Toney existed. Otherwise, he would have been clowned on even more. Honestly, I felt bad for the guy. Week after week, there were just more and more memes about him. Heading into the 2024 season, it felt like everyone just forgot about Quentin. The Chargers traded Keenan Allen to the Bears and didn't re-sign Mike Williams, leaving their wide receiver room pretty empty. Sure, they went out and drafted Ladd McConkey, but there was still an opportunity for Johnson to step up. And I would say that's exactly what he's done. He had his first 100-yard receiving game this year and has become a more reliable deep ball threat for Justin Herbert. One pick after the Chargers selected Johnson, the Ravens would select Zay Flowers. Coming out of Boston College, Flowers was widely regarded as one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the draft, praised for his quickness, excellent route running, and strong hands. He was a key component in the Ravens offense right from the start. During his rookie season, Flowers quickly became Lamar Jackson's go-to guy. He made himself known in every game. In fact, in the first 7 weeks of the season, Flowers never had a game with under 48 receiving yards. He finished the year with 858 yards and played a key part in the Ravens' run to the AFC Championship game. In 2024, the Ravens are a legit Super Bowl contender, and Zay Flowers is most likely going to break the 1,000-yard mark after multiple 100-yard games. And with the fourth straight pick of a wide receiver in the draft, the Vikings selected Jordan Addison. Addison was an electric 1-2 punch with Justin Jefferson in 2023. He finished his rookie year with 911 receiving yards. After dealing with an early season injury in 2024 and having to build chemistry with a new QB, Addison's numbers have taken a bit of a dip. Also guys, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Underdog Fantasy. If you guys sign up using my promo code SheGotSports, you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free pick. You can win up to 1,000 times your money by just choosing higher or lower on player stats like passing yards, total touchdowns, and even fantasy points. Underdog is available in 30 plus states, including California and Texas. And also guys, this is my pick'em entry for this weekend's games. So sign up using my promo code SheGotSports and get that free pick as well as up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Moving into the second round of the draft, the next wide receiver will be selected with the 39th overall pick by the Panthers, Jonathan Mingo. Mingo had a pretty bad rookie season, but then again, he was on the Panthers, so that makes sense. A lot of people were hoping for him to take that next step in 2024, but that just didn't happen. Just recently, Mingo got traded to the Cowboys for a 4th round pick. Also, the wide receiver is still looking to score his first NFL touchdown. With the 50th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers selected Jayden Reed. In 2023, the Packers were in a bit of a transition period, as they had traded their star quarterback Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. They were supposed to have a down year with a first-time starter at QB and the youngest roster in the league, but somehow they exceeded all expectations. One key piece to their success was Jayden Reed. He was the #1 go-to guy for the Packers on offense and finished the season with 793 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. Reed is a perfect complement to the other Packers receivers. He's a versatile and dynamic weapon who can play both in the slot and on the outside, and is just an ideal fit for their offense. With the 55th overall selection by the Chiefs, we have the only Super Bowl champ on this list, Rashid Rice. Rashid Rice had a fantastic rookie season, putting up 938 receiving yards, second to only Puka Nacua among first-year wideouts. But in the offseason, he got into some drama when he was driving 119 miles per hour down the highway. It turned into a crash, which then turned into a 6-car pileup. After the crash, Rice and the other driver reportedly fled the scene, leaving multiple injured people behind. This incident resulted in Rice facing multiple charges. But when the 2024 season came around, the league hadn't suspended Rice yet. His year got off to a great start, but then tragedy struck. During week 4, Patrick Mahomes threw an interception. As Rashid was chasing down the ball carrier, Mahomes flew in to try to make the tackle, but collided with Rice's knee. It ended up being a serious injury, which ended Rice's season. Getting injured by your QB is a rough way to go out. However, Rice is expected to make a full recovery and be ready to go for next season. Marvin Mims was selected with the 63rd overall pick by the Denver Broncos. His rookie season was not great, but in his defense, the Broncos QB situation was kind of a mess that year. However, with rookie Bo Nix under center in 2024, Mims' numbers haven't improved much. The first receiver drafted in the 3rd round was Tank Dell. He went to the Texans, who shocked us all by making the playoffs with rookie quarterback CJ Stroud. Dell had a great connection with his fellow rookie Stroud, but unfortunately, a week 13 fibula injury ended Tank's season. Dell still ended the year with an impressive 709 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. But things took a tragic turn in the offseason. On April 28th, Tank was shot in the leg. It was a huge blow to the Texans, or at least we thought it was going to be. Just a few weeks later, Tank somehow miraculously returned to offseason workouts like nothing ever happened. Dell has yet to miss a game this season and is part of one of the best receiving rooms in the NFL, alongside Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins. Unfortunately, Diggs recently suffered a season-ending ACL injury, so Dell is going to have to step up and take on a higher workload. The New York Giants took Jalen Hyatt with the 73rd overall pick. Hyatt had a hit-or-miss rookie season. He had some good games, but he also had his fair share of games with 0 yards. But then again, he was stuck with the trio of Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, and Tommy DeVito as his quarterbacks. He had a rough start so far to this season, with only 45 yards through the first 11 weeks, and really hasn't been seeing much playing time. It's probably still too early to label him a bust, but we're walking on a very thin line. With the 74th overall pick, the Cleveland Browns took a swing on Cedric Tillman. His rookie season was pretty non-existent, and it looked like this year was going to be more of the same. However, the Browns traded away star receiver Amari Cooper, and now Tillman is getting some opportunities. Through the first 6 games of the season, he had just 9 receiving yards. But since the Cooper trade, he has exploded. In the 5 games without Amari, he's had 330 yards. It's looking like he's going to continue to be a big part of Cleveland's offense to finish out their strange season, and might just have a successful career ahead of him. The 79th overall pick by the Indianapolis Colts would be the undersized Josh Downs. He had a great rookie season, putting up 771 yards and didn't put a 0 on the score sheet in a single game. But his sophomore season has almost already been better. He currently has the 2nd most receiving yards on the team with 567 and is tied for the most touchdowns with 4. In my opinion, Downs is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league right now. With the 94th overall selection, the Arizona Cardinals drafted Michael Wilson, who seems to be pretty forgotten. He quietly put up a solid 560-yard rookie season, but has been getting overshadowed this year by the new name in town, Marvin Harrison Jr. Wilson is a high upside prospect and could be a really strong number 2 wide receiver alongside Harrison for years to come. With the 100th overall pick, the Raiders selected Trey Tucker. He hasn't really made a big impact, but he should see some more volume with Devontae Adams no longer being on the team. He's not a guy who's gonna have 1,000-yard seasons, but he could be a solid wide receiver 2 or 3 and a pretty good return specialist. The first 4th round receiver drafted would be Darius Davis, selected with the 125th overall pick by the Chargers. He was drafted for one job: returning punts and kickoffs, and he was pretty good at it. His first year in the league, he had an 87-yard punt return touchdown. By the end of his rookie season, Davis was selected as a first-team Players All-Pro and deemed the best punt returner in the NFL. Much like Davis, the Bengals' 131st overall pick, Charlie Jones, is also a return specialist. In his rookie year, he just returned punts and even returned one for a score. But in 2024, he also took over kick return duties. In a Week 6 game against the Browns, he took the opening kickoff 100 yards to the house. The Bears took speedster Tyler Scott with the 133rd overall selection. He had an alright rookie season, but heading into 2024, the Bears traded for Keenan Allen and drafted Rome Odunze with the 9th overall pick, basically leaving Tyler Scott buried on the depth chart. He has yet to make a catch or even get a target in 2024. He's not being used for returns either, so right now, he's kind of just there on the sideline. Diving into the 5th round, the Bills took Justin Shorter with the 150th overall pick. Because of his 6'4", 215-pound build, Buffalo decided to move him to the tight end position. However, Justin missed his whole rookie year due to a hamstring injury. Heading into the 2024 season, the Bills released him as part of their final roster cuts. Currently, Justin is on the Raiders practice squad. With the 159th pick, the Packers took Dontavion Wicks. Wicks had a good rookie season, putting up nearly 600 receiving yards. But in 2024, he's taken a bit of a step back, and that might just be because there's so many good wideouts on that Green Bay roster, and, only one ball. But like a lot of the guys on this list, the potential is there. All these guys are still so young and have long careers ahead of them. But last, however certainly not least, with the 177th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams selected Puka Nacua. In just his 2nd pro game, Puka broke the rookie record for the most receptions in a single game, catching 15 passes for 147 yards in a matchup with the 49ers. Then, just 3 weeks later, he became the fastest rookie in NFL history to get to the 1,000-yard receiving mark. By the end of the year, Puka Nacua wasn't just a rookie standout. He was a superstar. Although he wasn't the fastest or the strongest, Puka showcased an elite football IQ and work ethic that earned him comparisons to some of the league's top veterans. He finished the season with 1,486 receiving yards and 105 receptions, both NFL records. He was named to the Pro Bowl and selected to the All-Pro second team as well as finishing second in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting behind quarterback CJ Stroud, who had a spectacular season of his own. In the playoffs, Puka took his game to another level. In the wildcard round against the Lions, he had 181 yards and a touchdown, but the Rams unfortunately fell short in that one. Nacua dealt with an injury early in the 2024 season, but since his return, he already has 2 games with over 100 receiving yards. Puka had to overcome a ton at a young age to get to where he is now. If you want to know about his full origin story, check out this video up here.